Hey, what's going on, everybody, and welcome to the breakdown. I'm your host, Essince, and I appreciate everybody tuning in. We got a really interesting show today, but first, I want to start off with rest in peace to young Dolph, who was senselessly gunned down in Memphis the other day, and on his way to buying some cookies. It's so sad. I hate this stereotype, but there's truth to it. Of jealousy in the industry, especially in some smaller markets and things, man. It's so sad, man. Like I think he was like around my age. He might have been a year older, but I hate to see it, and I just hate to see it, guys. So just moment of silence, rest in peace. Young Dolph, thoughts and prayers go out to family, fans, the community, because I understand how upsetting this is. So I'm going to do a quick moment of silence for that. But and Memphis is one of my favorite cities. Excuse me, one of my favorite cities. I love going to Memphis, guys. I really do. Ching's Hot Wings is one of my favorite places. I always shout them out. Anytime I come through Memphis, I always stop by there. So shout out to Ching's Hot Wings. Anyone who's ever in Memphis, I might be there soon. I'm definitely going to stop by. So I want to get into it, guys. I start off with a few headlines every week. And before I get into the breakdown, we got a really interesting topic today. Headlines, there's a record deal that the iconic Staples Center in Los Angeles, which, home to the Lakers, the Kings for my hockey fans, Clippers, it's changing its name. It is being renamed the Crypto.com Arena. I think this is really interesting. One, I'm always curious how long licensing and naming rights deals go, and also if the brands think it's worth it. So I don't know if Crypto.com just made an offer that Staples did not want to match, if they didn't feel it was worth the investment for the naming rights. But yeah, $700 million of Crypto.com. I didn't realize Crypto.com. I knew it was big, but I have investments with them, but it's still fascinating to look at and see, like, damn, it's grown so big that they have an additional 700 million, not that it's all upfront or anything, but that they have that, and it's worth, the investment to them. So next is really interesting. Legendary rapper MC Light. She was one of my favorites. She still is, a lot of respect for her. I grew up listening to some of her stuff. She says that she would not make it in rap today because she wears pants. That is her. That's a true statement. That's a quote from her. She didn't think she could make it in today's industry because she wears pants. And I think that's a fascinating, for someone like her who's known for her lyricism. She's known for her words, and it's about that, and she wants to keep it about that. She was asked to comment on, if she'd ever thought about plastic surgery or anything like that. And she said she was always confident in who she is, but it's interesting to think that she feels she wouldn't be accepted, or that people wouldn't listen to her lyrics because of that. Last one, and this is something we're going to roll into the breakdown with. Warner Music Group announced the launch of a new brand called WMX, and it's their services division, and it's intended to connect with fans and amplify brands. So we're going to break down a little bit of what that means. How does that affect artists? And what are they looking for now? It's not about just the streams. So I want to read a little something to you from an article from Variety, just so I don't misquote. But the Warner has an iconic brand. It was Warner Electra and Atlantic Records, and that was Warner's physical distribution arm for years. And this is the quote of what this will be, what this WMX brand will be. They want to have an in-house creative agency, vinyl record pressing, ticketing, fashion collaborations, gaming, social, experiential, and other fan experiences. This is driven by the company's owned media, which means like these are the media outlets that they own. So when you hear it says owned media, it's like not necessarily subsidiaries, but kind of like these are the brands that they own, which include Uprocks, the youth culture and music destination, Songkick, the live music app, Hip Hop DX, amazing, especially in our culture, iconic hip hop media platform. It says, in addition, WMX ranks as top 5 video media company for 18 to 34 audiences in the US, generating over 46 billion monthly views through music-centric content on YouTube channels, including The Pit and Indie Mixtape, as well as streaming and social platforms. So that's a quote from Variety about this, and this is really interesting and fascinating, and that's is where again we're going to roll into today's topic of it's not about streams. It's not only about streams. And for the artists, we have such a big focus on streaming numbers. A lot of people have come to me, clients and just even friends asking advice like, man, I'm reaching out to this record label. I gotta get 100,000 streams on 4 of my songs. Man, I want to get to 1 million. I want to get 500,000 to show these people. And it's interesting to think of that in it for a couple reasons. One, to think, well, we all know that you can fake streams. Like you can buy anything, anywhere. And streams is one of them. People can fake YouTube views. They can fake Twitter followers. We've seen it in the political elections with bots and fake pages. That's it's doable. Um, and I won't get into it now, but yes, some people argue that the majors do it. That's not today's topic. But to think that, the artists or some of these artists think that if you have the numbers, that's the only thing the labels are looking for. So if you come to me and I'm looking to sign you, and I'm like, oh wow, man, you've got 1 million views on your video, you've got X number of followers, you've got this, that's the only thing that I'm going to look for. That's just not true. They're looking at engagement. I want to look at saves. I want to see how many fan playlists your song is on, not just editorial ones. There's so much more to it than just the numbers, because it can be faked and it can be found out very easily. I had someone come to me not too long ago, and he had about 40 or 50,000 followers on Instagram, and he was lucky if he got 1 or 2 comments and 4 likes on a post because they weren't real. Those numbers were fake. And when I looked at some of the followers and the people that did like, there were a couple posts that had a lot of views or likes on it. You could tell by like the usernames were so fake. It was like some crazy combinations of letters and numbers and didn't even spell out legible words. Some of them didn't have profile pictures. Some of them had like 4 pictures that were all posted a couple years ago. It didn't look good. So looking at those numbers wasn't enough. And it's, they're important. Sales and streaming numbers, of course, it's important because these companies are investing money into you and they want to get their money back. And we know it's a gamble. Like this whole industry is a gamble. You really have no idea how well something's going to do. You could put $500,000 into promoting an album and getting the right photos and on the covers, magazines, radio placements, and it could still flop. And that's so wild to think that, a lot of artists will come and think like, man, I don't have the budget to do that. It's not always just the budget. It's not just throwing money at something. There has to be a plan. There have to be some connection with the fan base who wants you. There has to be a demand. It's all about demand, supply and demand. So, and talking to more A&Rs now, especially younger generation, like younger millennial, Gen Z, A&R, I'm starting to hear a lot of them kind of going back to, it's refreshing going back to the music side of, they don't care about the numbers. They don't care if you have a fan base. They don't care, if you have some of these things together. They just want to know if you have good music. And it's so refreshing to hear and to see, because, well, that's the point of a marketing department, isn't it? To market it, to figure out how to promote somebody, how to push somebody, how to sell it, how to get streams by making the connection based on the good music. It's about the awareness. So I really enjoy seeing that. There were a few people on Twitter, A&Rs that I followed, and had whole threads about it. Like, I don't care about your numbers. We can build that up. We have teams. We have budgets to do that. They just want good music. And I think that this is kind of the natural settling down of the industry, because things change, life's cyclical, and so is this industry. So when you have people who, once these digital platforms and streaming platforms and stuff came about, of course there was a lot of hype and energy put into that. So you want to have high numbers, you want to have high views that people can see, and the money is important. And you have people in charge of things who are pushing for albums just to break streaming records or sales records or things like that. But once they hit or don't hit this marker, they don't care anymore, and it's on to the next project. So they just kind of want to get in, make some quick money, and get out, sign someone to a quick single deal. If the song works, maybe they'll negotiate something else. If not, all right, good luck, man. Peace. So I'm excited, and I really hope that this is becoming a trend of the focus on the art again, the focus on good music, the focus on talented people from wherever. I don't know if some of you guys remember, the last couple of weeks I was out on tour, and I was scouting talent. I was looking for artists to sign to our label, VIP Records Empire. And we were in cities that don't get the attention. I was in Cincinnati, I was in Pittsburgh, I was in Jacksonville, Illinois. These had some amazing talent, some great people, and we found some awesome artists. But when you mention and think of what are the top hip hop cities or the best music cities, I don't think Jacksonville, Illinois comes to mind for most people. Hopefully this will change when they hear about the talent that we found there. But it's refreshing to think that. So it's pretty obvious that sales equals money. They want to make the money back that they've invested. They give you an advance. They put all this money into marketing, promotion. They want their money back, and they should get it back. If someone's investing in you, of course they should get their money back. But it's a gamble. So how do you lessen this risk? How do you make this connection with your fans? And it's about relating to your niche, relating to your artists. And it goes back to last episode when we talked about really knowing your fan base, like really knowing. If you haven't heard, go back and check out the first episode where we kind of break down all of the things you have to think about when you're looking for your fan base. It's not just, man, my fans are like college age students and they like rock music. That's not good enough. You have to know more so that you can do the proper promotions. You're reaching the right people. You're promoting it the right way, and you're hitting people where they are. So remember, there are two types of music fans. There are the people who actively look for new music, and a lot of that's often us, and insiders, people in the industry, the artists, the managers, the DJs, where we're looking for new music, we're looking for new artists, we're looking for the next hit. But a lot of listeners aren't like that. they hear new songs when they hear new songs. It's when something plays on the radio. It's when it's on in someone else's car. It's on when you put on a workout, mix, and they're not actively searching. So you have to be where they are. And that's what this is all about. Now that Warner Music Group's going to have this team, and they're hiring some very talented new people, but they're dedicated to this. They want to find and shape and promote. Again, they've got ticketing arms, they've got media. It's all encompassing. It's all built in. And on a much smaller scale, this is what I try to do with Royal Air Entertainment, my company. That's why I started by being a writer on a lot of sites, but I've grown. I have access to hundreds of different websites, but there are a lot that we own as well. There are radio stations and internet TV programs and OTT platforms and other shows within my network for that reason. So again, this is, a micro, macro, much larger scale that they're doing, but that's why they're doing it. So it's not necessarily just to be like a conglomerate, but I want everyone listening and checking this out to understand that it's so important for them to expand beyond just distribution, because they can't do that anymore. They can't, that's part of the whole 360 deal where, for those aren't familiar, the label takes a little bit of everything now. So they'll get it's similar to like a manager percentage, not saying they do or don't do the work that a manager might, but they'll take a little bit of endorsements, they'll take a little bit of publishing, they'll take a little bit of this. And that's because the industry's changed and is changing. So it's really interesting and exciting to see. I'm really interested to see where it goes. I'm going to be watching to see the growth and how this affects new artists, if they are going to be going to find and develop and these development type deals of artists, or if they're going to continue with just looking for someone who's been doing it pretty well on his or her own, and then just kind of sprinkling their sauce on it to fix it up. So really excited, guys. I can't say that enough, how excited this stuff makes me. Just seeing these changes in the industry, seeing changes in the culture, seeing growth, seeing a focus on developing the music again, seeing development on artist relations and focuses on these other important parts of touring, of everything else. So guys, again, if you want to check out in the description, my social medias are all there at Essince. I'm on TikTok, I'm on YouTube, I'm on all the majors. And make sure you click the link also and subscribe to the newsletter. I've got a weekly newsletter called the VIP, Royal Air Entertainment's newsletter, sharing out tips and advice to a lot of artists and people in the industry looking to learn more. And I also share some little hacks and secrets and things, and also have occasional giveaways just for subscribers. So it's completely free. Your emails are safe with me. So check out the link in the description, and make sure you tune in on Facebook. This is everywhere podcasts are: Apple, Google, Stitcher. And thank everybody for tuning into the breakdown. Make sure you tune in next week. I'm your host, Essince. Love you all. Out.